Let's go to that elder abuse question, because we have a question from a viewer on that very topic. Is concerned about that and wondering what the legislation might look like. So let's start with you and then go around the table. What do you think we're likely to see there?
Yeah, Senator Housley is pushing this in the Senate. Representative Keel in the House, both holding hearings and moving bills forward that really look at this, that says, how do you complain if something happens? If you are in the care, your family member's in the care of the state at a nursing home or at another care facility, how do you complain? How do you know? What people, I think, really should know is that the vast 99% and more percent of the people in care receive great care, and they get more care than they paid for, and it's great care. But we do need to respond better with how do you complain, how are those complaints followed up on, making sure that the safety of vulnerable Minnesotans is number one. I believe that that has to travel immediately up as far as possible to the governor's cabinet so that the governor can respond immediately and have direct accountability. I think that's what's missing right now. That's what I hope to see will come out of this.
Well, I don't sit on those committees, so I don't hear all of the things that are happening, but a lot of constituents have come to talk to me about the issue, and it is a topic that is really on their mind a lot. Both providers, nursing homes, and other folks who are concerned about too much regulation. What I hear from them mostly is not that they mind so much the regulation, but they want to feel as though the folks who are regulating them want them to succeed rather than catching them failing, and that will solve problems and make things better. My mom just recently passed away, and she was at a memory unit in Northfield in a nursing home and got excellent care. I can't say enough about the folks who worked with my mom and took care of her. And it was really wonderful, as you were saying, that there's some very good caregivers there, and we shouldn't forget that as in all of this. But I agree. I think that there has to be better communication, better ways of dealing with it. There is some concern that assisted living places are unlicensed, or maybe they ought to be licensed. I don't know the answer to that question. Haven't heard the debate on it. Those are some other things that constituents have talked to me about and concerns.
This is a very important issue, and it's just tragic, the stories that have been reported in the media, and unacceptable. And so I'm hoping that we, look at a process that has transparency for, families to register complaints or to discuss what is going on, in the facility with a loved one, but also the follow-up and making sure that people are held accountable. But, my grandma was in a nursing home as well and received just tremendous care. So I also agree that we have to make sure that we're giving the caregivers the ability to participate in the care of their loved one and make sure that they're feeling protected as well.
I would agree. I would hearken back to what Representative Dean said. I think 99% of the care is excellent, and not all reportable incidents are equal.
Right.
I mean, I used to be a medical director at a nursing home, and sometimes a person can be slipping away from you maybe after they're coming off of the commode, and you grab for them, and their capillaries are fragile, and all of a sudden, boom, on the upper arms on both sides, they've got a bruise. And the family comes in the next day and say, good grief, where'd mom get the bruise? And it's tough care. Mm-hmm. These are people that frequently can't talk to you. They're not necessarily very coordinated. Oftentimes they're post-stroke and things like that. So I think it's really important that we be thoughtful. I think the backlog was really unfortunate.
Yes.
And I think that, frankly, DHS can be criticized for perhaps not doing a good enough job at triage, because they have a certain amount of staff hours and dollars, and that's their job, is they need to figure out what's the highest priority. I know as a practicing physician in the trenches, sometimes I feel like we're being saddled with more and more metrics, whether it be we're supposed to provide a fluoride varnish to a 6-month-old central incisor that just erupted, or if we're supposed to do mandatory HIV testing on every 15 to 18-year-old. And I say, where do these things come from? Why don't you do the core elements of your job before you start branching out?